And now, we talk about food. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Daku. Here we talk about all the food happenings around Acadiana. If you like food, tune in. You might learn something new. Spring has sprung, and the way that you can tell that is if you have a white car, it probably has a yellowish tint to it right now. Or you could be like me and have had a massive allergy attack yesterday, Allegra all day, and then it got so bad that I needed the Sudafed. But spring also means planting lots of veggies and herbs. And it also means that on Sundays when you go to Lowe's, everyone is in the garden department because they all have the same idea as you, because they're all wanting to plant and have wonderful gardens, like I've been trying to do with my new place. If you've listened to the show, you know how notoriously bad I am with gardening at home, and I am proud to say that we are going into the third week of my basil plant lasting. It's amazing what sun, fresh air, and watering it regularly will do. Some were afraid that I was overwatering it, but I'm doing it every other day, and it seems to be going strong. It's bright, it's beautiful, and I kind of decided that I was going to delve a little bit further and planted some green onions today, rosemary, and cilantro, and crossing my fingers, I'll be adding more herbs and potentially a tomato plant as the spring progresses. We will wait and see. AJ McGee is joining me tonight as a guest co-host. He is a senior PR student at UL, and he also works at Right Angle. He is their PR coordinator. If you follow him on Instagram, you know that he loves food, loves to take pictures of his food, and he's joining me tonight as guest co-host. Thank you so much for joining me, AJ.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Okay, so how are you on gardening?
So I am actually terrible.
Okay, so you can relate.
Right now I'm working with just a succulent plant and just trying to keep that alive. So like I feel like I have a while to go before I can.
Yeah, and I told you prior to the show starting that I've killed succulent plants too.
Which I'm not that bad.
Right. And my brother bought me a jade plant at one time. He went in and he was like, "What plant can survive a nuclear holocaust?" And they were like, a jade plant. And I killed that too. So there's a reason why I'm so excited that this basil has lasted 3 weeks. Also, I'm really excited that if I'm doing a recipe and it calls for something that I can just go out and snip it, as opposed to rummaging through my spice drawer to see if I have it in a dried version, or having to go to the store. And if you buy herbs at the store, they give you this gigantic bushel of it. Yeah. And you'll try your best to keep it alive. But it's me, and it doesn't work that way. So I'm really excited about this possibility that I may be keeping some herbs alive so far at this point. Veggies, we're gonna start with tomatoes. We're gonna start small, but I'd like to be able to have like a nice little apartment balcony, like a garden going on. Yeah, instead of being a crazy cat lady, I'm gonna be a crazy plant veggie lady. There are worse things.
And I want it for you because cooking with
I will share.
I mean, okay, good. That's all I needed to hear.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you can get the fresh stuff, it makes it so much better. It tastes better.
I want to be that person that's like, my basil was so productive and I have all of this extra. Do you need some basil? Like, I want to be that person. Yeah. And I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. My basil plant right now looks so beautiful. It was kind of looking a little droopy. Yeah. So I think it's just that I need to prune it. And so that means pesto something is going to be coming, or I'm going to do like a caprese salad. Something like that's going to have to be in the mix. And then along those lines, so Camp Von Coeur did this little fundraiser thing where they were selling flats of Louisiana strawberries from Ponchatoula. And I bought a flat of strawberries without even thinking about it, because I want to say that it was 22 pints. I have 22 pints of strawberries. So many strawberries. And I knew it was going to be a lot. And then once you get it, you're like, oh my God. So I've been kind of brainstorming of what I'm going to be doing with all these strawberries because I didn't want to just do like sweet stuff like pies and things like that. I kind of wanted to think outside the box and do some things differently. However, when I got them, because of the heat and the transportation, they were starting to turn a little bit. So I needed to hurry up and freeze them. So I have pretty much all the frozen strawberries in my freezer right now. And then again, it's like, I don't want to be like, oh, smoothies, because that's, number one thing you can do with frozen strawberries. So I've been looking at a lot of cocktail recipes. I'm about to plant some mint. So I was thinking strawberry mint mojitos, strawberry basil mojitos too. I could actually do that right now because I have all that basil. And also strawberry margaritas, strawberry and Prosecco, put some strawberry in my red wine. You were actually telling me that you like strawberries and gin and tonics, which I've never had before.
Oh, yes. So like berry gin and tonics are one of my favorite things in the world. My sister makes an amazing blackberry gin and tonic.
Okay.
And you just, usually we use fresh blackberries and you just muddle them and then do a regular gin and tonic. Throw a little lime in there. So good. So I feel like that's where you need to go with
See, and I'm usually like gin and tonic is my summer drink and I'll get it with lime. I really like it with lime. I want to try it now with this little twist with the fruit. So I need to go invest in a gin bottle and for home use and experiment. All right. I haven't really dined out a lot this past week. I've been cooking a lot at home. You've been cooking a lot at home, and we're going to talk about that a little later in the show. However, I did get to check out the new Pot and Paddle that opened, and it's on Johnson Street. It replaced Two Paul's Barbecue. Okay, so it's not that other jambalaya place. I will say that right off the bat. When I found out that they were opening, I kind of just like sighed and was just like, does Lafayette really need another jambalaya place? However, this place is amazing. It's real good.
Right.
It's very good jambalaya. The two guys that own it are from Lafayette, and they actually compete in jambalaya competitions. So they know their stuff. Yeah, so they know their stuff. So the jambalaya was great. I actually like the pastelaya better. I felt like it held the juices a little bit better. And I think that may just be a difference between the rice and the noodles for that. And then they also have this pork gravy that they have on special, I think, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And a little insider tip that they told me that I actually tried out was to take the pork gravy and put it over the jambalaya. And that is the way to go. And you need to do this, and you need to experience this in your life.
You heard it here first.
Yes. They also have white beans. Their white beans were real good. They had red beans. They had gumbo. They have everything. But really, the star is the jambalaya. And you guys need to go check them out. They're also really affordable, too. I want to say under $10 for plates.
I had to look at the prices, and there was a lot of like, oh yeah, I can totally do this for lunch. So
we're doing a show next month from Pot and Paddle, and we're going to have the owners on, and we're going to talk to them a little bit more about it. And we're going to talk about their competitions that they do, because they have like these giant, crazy, huge black pots that they actually cook the jambalaya in. And we're going to have them on, and we're going to talk to them a little bit more about it. So you'll get to learn more about Pot and Paddle then. You were saying that you're not a big jambalaya person, but there's one place in town that you kind of like.
So I am not a huge jambalaya fan. I do love a pastelaya. I'll have to say that. I love a pastelaya. But Kirk's, you need a butcher. I could eat an entire pan of their chicken and sausage jambalaya. Like,
I have yet to go there. And first off, I love their name.
Yeah.
Because you do need a butcher.
Yeah.
And I used to have a friend that lived off of Surrey Street, and I would pass it all the time, but it was weird hours. They were never open, and I never got to stop and try them. But they are on Waiter, and I noticed that they have something called Buffalo cracklins. So I'm assuming that it's buffalo chicken flavored cracklins, and I'm intrigued and need to learn more.
Yeah. I mean, I have only had their jambalaya, so there's definitely more investigating that has to happen on my part, and I'm excited about that because their plate lunches sound delicious, and they're in that perfect triangle of like, there's also Creole Lunch House over there, and like that's also
Burger Best is also over there,
yeah,
too. So that's a hidden little secret in the know food area of Lafayette. Okay, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we have more with AJ. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac says no. No interest for 6 full years on all new 2016 Chevrolets in stock. Yes, 0% financing for 72 months on all new 2016 Chevys on the lot at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. All new 2016 Silverados, all new 2016 Malibus, all new 2016 Suburbans and Tahoes. No interest for 6 full years. All new 2016 Cruises, all new 2016 Impalas, all new 2016 Camaros. 0% financing for 72 months on all new 2016 Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. So say yes to no interest at Louisiana's #1 choice and get bigger savings on a better selection. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, your super Chevy dealer. 1212 Ambassador Caffrey near I-10. Stop by or log on at servicegm.com. Chevy, find new roads. With approved credit through GM Financial. In stock units only. Offer expires 3/31/17. Depends based on current GM data.
Here's a tip from Sean Doré with Mr. Electric.
Your energy bill does not have to be unpredictable. An Energy Star certified ceiling fan uses dramatically less power than air-conditioned units. Installing fans throughout your home can make you feel up to 8 degrees cooler, allowing you to turn your AC to a higher temperature without causing you to feel uncomfortable. And not only can you install them inside your home, but installing one on your patio can make gatherings far more comfortable with a little extra air circulation.
For more tips and advice, visit this Town Square Media radio station's website.
Whether you're calling an electrician because something is wrong or because you have a new project in your home, you need someone fair, dependable, on time, and thorough. And Mr. Electric is exactly who you're looking for. Their technicians are background checked, drug screened, and are taught on their company's code of values before they step foot in your home. With honest, upfront pricing, quality service, and one of the best warranties in the business, you can trust that Mr. Electric will take care of all your electrical needs. Call Mr. Electric and schedule an appointment today, 337-451-2228, or log on to lafayette.mysteryelectric.com.
Attention men, if you have tried or wanted to try Viagra or Cialis, or if you've ordered an over-the-counter product in the last few years, Noxitril is an option that is completely private, has received tremendous reviews, and can be at your door in just days. Pharmaceutical companies dislike us because we present a real option to their higher prices and insurance limitations. After years of research, Noxitril has been developed and formulated in U.S. FDA labs, packed with the highest quality potent ingredients. Noxitril is a true breakthrough in male potency. This remarkable all-natural pill is being called Viagra on steroids and is known as a sure winner. So what are you waiting for? Call now and ask how to get your free supply.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-1560. That's 800-993-1560. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-1560. 800-993-1560.
She puts the wow, yum into words. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie herself on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Daku, and joining tonight as guest co-host is AJ McGee. He is a senior graduating student in PR at UL. He's also the PR coordinator at Right Angle. He has an amazing Instagram page. You and your sister have something called Gulp South, correct?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I, of course, live in Lafayette, and my sister lives in New Orleans. That's where I'm from, and we both absolutely love food. That's pretty much all we do when we are home together is eat and drink. So we started an Instagram account called Gulp South, and it's pretty much just us traveling throughout Houston, Lafayette, pretty much just the South, eating everything that we can get our hands on and taking really pretty pictures of it. So you guys should all follow along so that you can eat vicariously through us.
I love your food posts from New Orleans. Me and you have talked about Mosquito Supper Club, and that you've been, and I haven't been. And if you're not aware, Mosquito Supper Club is... The ladies that are from Lafayette, the Acadiana area. Yeah. And it's just, I can never time it right to be able to get to go.
It is like Mosquito Supper Club is something that you should be moving your schedule around to go to. Because I have been to a lot of different supper clubs, and like a lot of supper clubs are really like, okay, you get this first course, second course. This is like your mom is hosting a supper club. I mean, the first time we went, and she was like, okay, do you guys want the leftovers? I about fell out of my chair. So like it's definitely not something to miss out on.
Okay, I need to arrange that. And then also in the same space now is someone else that I've been following on Instagram, Levy Baker.
Yeah.
And she's kind of getting some cred because I think Country Roads magazine just wrote a piece about her. She has this gorgeous Instagram. She takes beautiful pictures. Like not only can she bake, but she's a good photographer too.
Absolutely.
And she's sharing the space. You haven't had any of her stuff.
I haven't.
Though.
I haven't had her bread yet. I have fawned over it endlessly, but I have not had any of her baked goods.
So what drew you to PR?
Well, so honestly, and I had this conversation the other day with someone, I was senior class president and planned prom. And I thought, like, if I went into PR, I would just plan proms for the rest of my life.
Okay, I like that rationale.
Yeah, that's absolutely not that. I have not planned any more proms since graduating high school. But I worked for Downtown Alive and Downtown Lafayette Unlimited. I interned there after getting to school here and kind of loved working with people and loved coordinating events and messaging. And I kind of realized, like, this is where I want to be. And so I haven't looked back since.
Do you hope to go into more food or kind of?
Absolutely. I would love to do. I worked in New Orleans over the summer with a company called Bats on Strings and worked with a lot of creative entrepreneurs and musicians. So I absolutely love that side of it. Love lifestyle pitching. So that would definitely be a goal. But I work with digital media a lot right now and social media. So I'm kind of still really green and open to exploring my options.
I feel like New Orleans, and I mean, it is a bigger city and more of a food town in a different way. They have more PR firms that specialize in food as opposed to Lafayette. Do you find that that's the case?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think one thing that's different is like there's a lot of people who appreciate how much working with a professional can do for you in terms of social media, like photography and like messaging for your content. And in terms of PR, like getting even regional or national reach. I think a lot more people appreciate that there. And then because of that, you can only work with musicians or only work with restaurants, which is great.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So lived in New Orleans, but you said your mom was from Opelousas.
Yeah.
Did you visit a lot when
all
you
the
were
time.
little?
Yeah. And my grandmother still lives in Opelousas, so I go out there at least once a week.
So came to Lafayette for school. What did you think of the food scene here, going from a big food town to it's a pretty big food town as well, in a different way? What'd you think of that?
So I will definitely say when I first came to Lafayette, I didn't realize how much of a food town it was and spent way too much time at Taco Bell.
Oh, wow.
And finally branched out, and I have not. It's been completely life-changing. And somebody was asking me to compare New Orleans and Lafayette the other day, and I was like, New Orleans has a lot of great food, but Lafayette has a great food concentrate here. So, like, I have never had a bad meal in Lafayette other than the ones that I've cooked. So, like, it's definitely much easier to find an amazing meal here than, not to say that there aren't so many amazing places in New Orleans, but, like, I feel like it's just, like, rapid fire here.
When I describe Lafayette to people, I say it's almost like we're saturated with food, and that you may not necessarily have a day job in food, but you have a day job doing something else. But as your passion project or a side project, you're doing something with food, and everyone kind of has an appreciation and love for food here, and that's kind of how I describe Lafayette. And I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, with the amount of people, we have a lot of people here that have an entrepreneurial spirit, and they're doing doing little side projects that are food related, and it's kind of cool, and it's been interesting watching it progress since I started and where it is now.
Oh yeah. And I love that there's such a great balance of like knowing great food and wanting to eat out, but also being a place where hosting is such a thing. So someone is always willing to have you over and cook you a great meal is like one of my favorite things. Okay.
And on that subject, you have recently kind of stopped dining out and drinking for Lent. And what has that process been like?
So it's been rough. It's involved a lot of gallons and pints of ice cream. I'm not gonna lie. I'm halfway through Bluebell's pistachio almond, and it is my saving grace right now. But yeah, I've cut back on eating out and on drinking. So I've been trying to cook more, which I haven't been super successful at. So like I've been really living on like kale.
Yeah, you said you've been doing a lot of salads.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like kale and romaine salads, which isn't a bad thing, but I definitely want to branch out and do a couple more recipes and kind of get better.
We were talking about how hard meal prepping is, and I was talking about how you needed to get some Rachel Ray 30-minute meals.
Yeah.
But you said you've been looking a lot on Pinterest.
Yeah, I have rediscovered Pinterest, and that has been amazing with like easy recipes. But I definitely have spent more time pinning things I want to cook than actually cooking things I've pinned. So I've got to work on that balance.
There's a new cookbook that you might like, Melissa Clark. It's Dinner Changing the Game. Okay. And she's kind of specializing in quick meals. A lot of sheet pan meals is really popular. And I'm going to tell you from my experience, from as much as I've been cooking at home lately, roasting things in the oven is so easy. And one pot meals, because you literally like chop all your veggies, put a piece of meat on top of it and you let it cook, and you can do other things while it's cooking in the oven, and then you pull it out and it's done. That's kind of been my saving grace is roasting everything in the oven. Also slow cookers, but now Instapots are the new thing. I refuse to get one just because I love my slow cooker so much. But it's kind of the opposite of the slow cooker, and it works the same way, but instead of cooking all day, it cooks in like five minutes.
Oh yeah, that's a little scary. But
yeah, that's kind of why I don't want it. I'm gonna be like, no, I'm sticking with my slow cooker.
Yeah, I do love a slow cooker meal. I haven't done a lot of slow cooker meals, but I have a roommate, Michael, who is a wonderful cook, and I probably would have withered away if it weren't for him. He has a lot of slow cooker magic up his sleeve.
Hugh Atchison has a slow cooker cookbook that's coming out in October that I've already pre-ordered because I was so excited, because I know a lot of chefs do not like slow cookers, and the fact that he like put one out, and it's all about like doing fancy dinners with slow cooker meals and things like that. So I'm like, yes, I will not get an Instapot. I will stick with the slow cooker all the way.
Stick with what we know. For sure.
But I mean, meal prepping is, and I have problems with that too. Like to cook 3 meals in one day, I did it one time and it was hard. Yeah. It did make the week easier. But my thing is to kind of just find really easy, quick meals that will cook themselves. And
that's what I need.
Vegetables and meat in the oven. It is so easy. And then you can just change up the spices a little bit, just kind of play with it from there. That would be my tip to you.
The other thing that scares me about meal prepping is that I'm so picky that like after I have friends who meal prep and I see that they have like the same meal in 10 different Ziploc containers, and I'm like, I can't, no. After like 3 times, I can't eat that anymore.
With you on that. I will pretty much, I've gotten up to cooking 3 days a week now. Yeah. So I'll cook 3 days a week. I have it for lunch. I'll have it again for dinner. And then if I have any left over, it goes in the freezer. Yeah. And then, so that'll be a meal that I can take out at another time. But I'm the same way. Eating the same thing 7 days a week, no way. That's why I don't know how you're eating salads so much.
I will mix my salads up and like do it with chicken, do some just kale, some kale and romaine mix, some with tuna. So like I try to like shake things up.
Mix up the proteins.
Yeah. I also honestly can eat salad every day because I have discovered this olive oil that I can only find in Phoenix, Arizona. It's called Epicurean Season or Epicurean Farms, and they have this garlic olive oil that is like out of this world. And I will slather that on everything: English muffins, toast,
everything,
salads. So like I pretty much am eating salads so that I have an excuse to eat that olive oil and not drink it out of the jar.
Well, I like your rationale with that, so I approve of that. And you're also not drinking. And I asked you if you were doing mocktails, but no,
I'm not. And I've been doing a lot of. And here's another thing you can do with those strawberries. I've been doing a lot of like fruit waters because I needed to drink more water anyway. So like this is a good excuse for me to do that. So I've been putting a lot of like fruits and herbs in water. but not doing mocktails because that would make me sad, and I would be drinking it and want alcohol and feel like I was cheating myself. So I don't want to slap every bartender that's ever served me in the face, and so I'm gonna just stick through Lent and then go back to my usual boozy ways.
All right, we are going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more with AJ. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Foundation failure, a homeowner's worst nightmare. Bricks crack, doors stick, sheetrock breaks. The symptoms are clear and should not be ignored. Relax. It might not be as bad as it seems. Let the professionals at National Foundation Repair help you by diagnosing your problem and engineering a solution so you can rest easy once again. National Foundation Repair. We know foundation failure, so you don't have to.
In Lafayette, call 233-3258.
Truck Month continues at Service Chevrolet Cadillac, where you get huge savings and rock-bottom financing on a great selection of Silverados. Save thousands and get 0% financing for 72 months on all new 2016 Silverados in stock at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. And we're not limiting this offer to just trucks. Right now, you can also get 0% financing for 72 months on all new 2016 Chevy cars and SUVs.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Deku, and we've been talking with AJ McGee. He is the PR coordinator at Right Angle. He is a senior PR student at UL, and he also runs the Instagram page Gulf South with his sister. Okay, without further ado, we need to discuss the Po' Boy Festival that is happening next Saturday. They put out the menu last week, and I kind of danced in my seat a little bit. Yeah. I also requested off of work and made it very clear that I was not working next Saturday because I needed the Po' Boy Festival in my life. I pretty much want all of the ones that have gravy in some way, shape, or form.
All of the Po' Boys that come with bread. Like, if you haven't been drooling over this menu, you're not human, I don't think.
And it was so exciting to me. I was like, ooh, it's like, yes, let's see what's on here. So the braised short rib melt po' boy from French Press looks awesome. I'm excited that Turkey and the Wolf from New Orleans is coming. Have you been to the restaurant yet?
So I haven't been to Turkey and the Wolf, and that's one of those things I'm like kicking myself in the butt for.
Yeah, I told you I kind of felt the same way because I was in New Orleans right when they opened, and I didn't go and eat there, and then they kind of just blew up. And now I'm like, why didn't I do that?
And everyone is telling me how good it is.
Yeah, I'm seeing them all over social media. The French fry and gravy po' boys are very interesting to me. Yeah. And let's see, there's that Moroccan braised lamb po' boy from St. Street Inn. Yeah.
Pamplona's calamari po' boy sounds delicious.
I'm on the fence on that. I kind of feel, I don't know how I feel about it. Because I think in my head, I'm picturing like the little baby squid and like the little tiny tendrils poking out of the po' boy bun. And it's kind of, and I love calamari and I love squid, but I just don't know how I feel about it on a po' boy. So I'm kind of feeling weird about it.
I'll say I've had plenty of Pamplona's calamari, and it is so good.
It is.
And so I'm super excited to have it, and I'm hoping that it is slathered in some kind of amazing sauce or aioli, and I'm ready for that.
And so the fried bread pudding po' boy. This is another one that I'm like, I just need to see it. I just need to see what it looks like.
You know what? Honestly, there's so many po' boys on this list that I'm like, presentation is going to make it or break it for me. Like, I need to know, it sounds good on paper. Like, this fried bread pudding po' boy sounds intriguing on paper, but what it looks like will determine whether or not I need to consume it.
And we also Googled the Cajun Girl po' boy that Crawfish House and Grill had because I was like, what is it? And we've decided that it's probably shrimp etouffee in the bread, and it's not sliced all the way through. It looks like it has like a hole dug out of the middle, and they kind of pour the etouffee inside of it. So I'm intrigued by that as well. I will say that last year, I didn't get to have a lot last year because they underestimated how many people were going to be there, and it was a little crazy. So I'm hoping this year is not going to be like that. And they have other things going on this year too that they're hoping will kind of make the lines not as crazy. Yeah. But I did try Social Southern's smoked duck and andouille gumbo po' boy, which going in, you're kind of like, it's just a bread bowl with a gumbo, and it's not. It was kind of like an actual po' boy, and it was really tasty. And then I also had Live Action Delis. It was on a torta, and I know that they got some smack talked about them because they did it on a torta bun and not a French bread po' boy. And whether or not that was a legitimate po' boy or not, but it was on a torta bread. It was fried chicken. They did collard greens. I believe it also had chow chow on it. It was the most amazing chicken po' boy, chicken salad, chicken sandwich, chicken delicious. Fried chicken sandwich, po' boy, whatever. Delicious. It was so good. It was my favorite thing that I had eaten that day. And I feel like I only got to try those 2, and they were both really good. So there are going to be no bad options, is what we're saying at this. All the po' boys are going to be good, and it's going to be delicious, and I'm super excited, and I'm getting there early and ready to eat.
So if you see Tiffany or I at Po' Boy Fest, save us a spot in line. Get an extra po' boy for us. We need to try everything.
Yes, I know. I need like another stomach. I need to prepare. I need to prepare for this. We were also talking about cinnamon rolls because you were rather impressed with the Lab's cinnamon rolls that they've been posting.
The Lab has first of all, just the Lab's baked goods have just been like, I have been waking up on Sunday and seeing their like Instagram stories and posts and being like, I don't know what else I'm doing today, but I need that. And they have had me thinking about cinnamon rolls because theirs is, first of all, massive. I couldn't even finish
They do an espresso one too.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of scraps. Like they have a cookies and cream one that it's what you need but didn't know you needed. So you're welcome for that. But I still definitely am like in love with the Great Harvest. Their cinnamon roll is like also the size of my head.
Yeah. I think that's part of what a cinnamon roll needs to be, is massive and the size of your head.
Yeah.
So prior to the Lab, if someone said to me, I want a cinnamon roll, where to go? I would send them to Great Harvest because that was the only one that I had known about. And then the Lab just put one out. You said Black's Cafe also has a cinnamon roll.
I went there today and just encountered their cinnamon roll, which has like espresso cream cheese topping on it.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize how amazing that was until I had Rev's King Cake, which had that like espresso topping.
To try their
oh my
King
god!
Cake. I know I missed out.
So good. Well, at least like you can have a little taste of what cinnamon bread and espresso is like if you go to Black Cafe, because that was really delicious.
And I was telling you that I really don't eat cinnamon rolls because to me, my grandmother growing up made the most amazing cinnamon rolls. And I remember distinctly going to stay with her, waking up early, putting cartoons on. She would have them individually frozen in the freezer, and I would take one out, pop it in the microwave, and then sit in front of the TV watching Saturday morning cartoons and eating the most amazing cinnamon roll that was also the size of my head of my life. And when she passed, I inherited all of her recipes. There is no cinnamon roll recipe that I have found yet. I have been searching through there. I cannot find it. And my grandfather was telling me that it was because we've talked about this a lot. Like the family's been very much wanting to find the cinnamon roll recipe because they were so good. And my grandfather was telling me that he thought it was a regular cinnamon roll recipe, but whatever the butter amount was, that I needed to just double it because that's what she did. She doubled the amount of butter, which makes sense. Knowing my grandmother,
that's just a good rule of thumb.
You know, that makes sense to me. But then it's also like, okay, like butter throughout the whole recipe, and then it's also like cinnamon rolls have so much butter in them already. Like how much butter did she do? So I may try to do that, but I feel like it's not going to be like that nostalgic cinnamon roll, you know, that I ate as a child. But I'm still going through those recipes.
It's sometimes kind of the worst when your family or a family member makes something that's so good that like eating it anywhere else just ruins it for you. That hurts my heart.
Well, and then it's also the matter of, so my great grandmother made really amazing biscuits and sheet cakes, and she would give you the recipe, but she would leave something out, which is such a Southern lady thing to do. And Yeah, it's fun and games and you get that. But then there comes a time where, like, how are you going to pass on that recipe the exact way that you do it unless you show somebody exactly how you do it to pass and keep that recipe alive? So that's the other side of it. Southern ladies who like to leave ingredients. And I do it too sometimes. But, you know, we need not to do that to keep recipes alive.
Stop playing with our emotions.
All right, we are going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more with AJ. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Deku, and AJ McGee has been joining as guest co-host tonight. Okay, so we need to talk about what are some of your favorite restaurants in the New Orleans area?
Ooh, okay. So I love Legacy Kitchen, which so a lot of people don't know about it.
Okay, it's in the Renaissance, isn't it?
Yes,
okay,
it is.
I have eaten there then, yes.
There's one in the Renaissance. There's also one on Veterans in Metairie. And I know a lot of people who I'm like, go eat there. And they're like, what? I've never heard of that. And then they go and it's amazing because it's like really well like remixed and like fun takes on like American fare. Like I've had like crab cake meatballs there and it's delicious. Dominica is super good because I'm a pizza fiend. And they have this pizza called the Tutu Carne. And I can't even tell you what is on it. It's just a bunch of meat. It's just like a pile of meat and then a farm egg in the middle.
The executive chef is from Lafayette.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why it's good, obviously. And then Mobar is another place.
Another one that I haven't been to, but it's on my list. Yeah.
That's a really good one. They have like a fun happy hour. And then they also just have like a great dinner. And I love, we've been there for my birthday a couple times, and they do like a price fixed brunch, which is like, I like to just have options, know what I'm getting, and have it be amazing. So like, that's an easy one. And then seriously, Creole Creamery. Like,
they're good. I've been there. I have had ice cream from there. Yeah.
Mexican hot chocolate is like my favorite thing in the world.
I want that right now, actually. Yeah. It is a little warm.
We can make a trip after this.
What are some overrated New Orleans restaurants?
Overrated? So I'm not a big, like, New Orleans po' boy person. It's like,
not a fan of the Parkway?
I'm like, not, I don't want to say I'm like not a fan, but like, I can't say that like, I have had a New Orleans po' boy that I'm like, this is what you have to have, and like, you cannot have anything else. Like, this is the superior po' boy. And then, there's so many barbecue places right now.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot have been popping up.
Yeah, there's a lot of barbecue and meat places right now. And some of them I'm like,
not a fan of the barbecue?
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite restaurants in Lafayette?
Okay. So everyone get out your pens and paper. Pamplona has an amazing $10 lunch special that it's crazy that I'm not 300 pounds because when I'm eating out, I'm having that at least once a week. That's a favorite of mine. St. Street Inn is also super delicious. And I know this can sometimes be a divisive topic, but definitely give me an old time shrimp po' boy any day. That's one of my favorite things to have.
That's kind of a controversial.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I like the fried shrimp po' boys at Old Time. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Like classic po' boys, that's where it's at. But there's been this Old Time Pops po' boys rivalry lately that I've been seeing on social media. And it's fun to watch, but it's two different styles of po' boys to me.
It doesn't have to be compared.
Now, classic to classic, I like Villagers in Maurice. Yeah. Way better than Old Time. Have you been to Villagers before?
So I have had a Villagers experience, but people have told me that I can't count it. I got Villagers takeout and brought it all the way from Maurice to downtown Lafayette and ate it at the office. So like people have told me like, no, you need to have it hot and fresh.
So their roast beef po' boy with gravy is awesome. Amazing. Now, shrimp po' boys, they again have a good one, but I'm probably going to like Old Times better. Okay. But yeah, classic to classic, Villagers trumps Old Time for me. But I mean, I now love Pops. Like, I love Pops Po' Boys. I love what they're doing over there. And, you know, you can't go wrong with a Pops Po' Boy. You've had their daiquiris.
Oh, my gosh. Pops Po' Boy, like, if you're not going to the Pops Po' Boy happy hour on Thursdays, I think it's from, like, 3 to 6 or something like that.
No, on Thursdays, it's all day.
Oh, okay.
Or all night.
You know what? That's good to hear because they now have those daiquiris that are super, super delicious. Like they do the Swamp Pop, which I'm weird about sodas, so I'm not a big Swamp Pop drinker. But their Pop Rouge in the daiquiri with the champagne and I think like there's like gin or something else in it, is really like, I suggest go get that Bougie Rouge. That's really good.
I know. I saw you post them and I was like, ooh, I so want to try that.
Very delicious.
And we should mention that Eater just put out the Southern 38 Essential Restaurants. And there was a bunch from New Orleans, but we got a Lafayette one on there. Hawk's Boil Up made the list. And we both have not had Hawk's, but they've been doing boil pop-ups at the warehouse on Thursday and Friday nights. I know Thursday nights for sure. They've been doing it. And I've heard a lot of people comment about how delicious they are. And I think part of it is how they purge them. They're supposed to be super clean and it's supposed to make real delicious. This is controversial that I'm not a big crawfish fan, boiled crawfish fan.
I can't believe. It kind of hurts my heart.
Yeah. You know what? There is another food writer in town that is also not a boiled crawfish fan, and that made me feel better about myself.
Well, good.
So
I'm glad that you guys can start a club and
really,
stay far away from us.
it's about that I'm too lazy to peel them as opposed to I don't like the taste. I do like the taste. I'm just lazy, and I don't like to peel them. And the same rationale goes for crabs as well. But I want to try them. Like, I want to try those because I've been seeing them so much on social media and I want to check it out and taste it. But they made the 38 essential list. And then some of the New Orleans restaurants were Parkway that we just talked about, La Petite Grocery, which I've been there, had a stellar experience there. One of top 10 meals of my life was there, and Galatoire's, which I've never been. Have you been there?
I haven't been to Galatoire's, no.
I feel like that's old school New Orleans. Yeah. Okay. So,
but they top a lot of lists, so that's not a huge surprise.
What are some of your, since you're on Instagram so much and you're such a fan of Instagram, what are some of your favorite Instagram food accounts to follow?
Ooh, so I love a good like food stylings. Like we talked about Levy Baker, who does amazing stuff with her breads. I love Joy the Baker has a really great, and it's just her. That's her handle, Joy the Baker. She has a great Instagram,
and she's from she's not from New Orleans, but she's living in New Orleans, and she also her cookbook just came out.
Yeah,
too.
Over Easy, go get that. So she has a really great Instagram, which I love. Oh my gosh. Who else? Well, I'm trying to think of restaurants here that I love on Instagram. On social media in general, Pops Po' Boys is hilarious, which like I feel like if you can have be both really funny and have great pictures, I'm in love with you. But definitely if you can be hilarious, I'm hooked.
I love that the names that they come up with, and they're just having fun, and you can tell that they're just about having fun, and I appreciate that.
And they also understand that like not everyone, like we're not for everyone, which is such an important thing to get if you're selling any product. Just that like, hey, we're not for everyone, and like if we're not for you, that's cool. But you know, if we are for you, then come enjoy, which I love.
What being that you're about to graduate in PR, do you think another social media platform is going to be used more than another in the coming years?
I definitely think Instagram is where it's at right now, especially for restaurants and food, because it's much easier
to post a picture visually. It's so much more visual.
And there's definitely much more of a community focus. So like I can like tag Pops or whomever in a photo. I can also like tag their location. So like as a user, I can go and see, okay, what are other people eating here? Or like what have they been tagged in? Like what are they doing? Which I think makes a big difference because sometimes I don't even care what the restaurant is doing and what's going on with them. I want to know like what are other people who go there eating?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does their food look like when they get it? which is, I think,
that's an interesting perspective that I don't think that I've ever thought about with the Instagram and following people. Because the way Instagram works, you can click on it and it'll show you if anyone has tagged that restaurant,
right,
what pictures they took there. And that is really interesting that you could see other people's, what they've been dining on, the pictures. I love my favorite thing is whenever I go to these media events and I will take a picture of a dish and then seeing what the other people took a picture of that same dish, but from different angles and perspectives. That's kind of my favorite thing, because and it just like shows that we all have different perspectives on things of what we think is important with that dish, and it's getting covered at 180 degree angles. Yeah. So that's something. But I like that perspective about the different things and what people are eating there.
I'll definitely make a menu decision based on what other people, what looked good, or what other people were like, this was amazing, you need to get this.
So once Lent is over, what do you think your big meal out is going to be? Is it going to be Pamplona or is it going to be somewhere in New Orleans?
I definitely think it's going to be somewhere in New Orleans, because I have a long list right now of places in New Orleans.
Oh, you're making a list.
I have this running list of places that every time I'm getting ready to go home, I'm texting my sisters and I'm like, hey, you guys, we need to go here this weekend. And that list has kept growing. So places I really want to go to Petite Lion. I really want to go to Kin. So there's a lot of places that I haven't made it to yet that I'm like, this needs to be first on my list as soon as Lent's over.
Have you done a lot of dining in Houston? Because that's another food city that I've been wanting to research and play around in.
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of Houston eating. My sister on the Gulf South Side, she frequents Houston a lot, and so she's over
there.
Texas a lot.
Good to know. Well, AJ, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show. This has been fun, and it's kind of breezed by.
Yeah, I know. This was fast.
Okay. All right. That's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This has been Tiffany Deku on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, and this is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy eating, Acadiana.